Hello guys, welcome back again to the Bardic Druid Oracle. My name is David, and this is my channel. Um, Today's an interesting and kind of sudden reading. I was planning on editing and posting a video I did last week, but I was guided today to do something specific for the energy of today. So we're going to be looking at how you can connect with your inner child and your higher self simultaneously so that the three of you can work through something that's been holding you back for the past 16 years. Astrologically, this is a very pivotal time between now, September 1st, and the next 3 months. And your inner child and your higher self want to work in tandem with you. And so this reading is about how you can connect with and work with your inner child and your higher self to maximize the potential from this period. It's a 3 card pick, 3 card reading. This is your first card, Shimmer. It's in reverse. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over so you can see it. Oh, lighting is something else. There you go. All right. Shimmer. Glamour, confidence, allure, charisma. All right. Second pile. Pile number 2 is the golden gift in reverse. The golden gift in reverse. Now, I'm going to turn it over so you can really get a good look at it. All right. The golden gift, number 24. Magical help is on its way. One more look at it. And here in a minute, I'm going to post a picture with the whole layout reading. And then you can make your choice there. Number 12 for pile 3. Pile 3 is number 12. Gossamer Princess. Gossamer Princess. Communication, relationship, work to be done. Communication, relationship, work to be done. That is the only one that is not in reverse. So this one is already different than the other two, I can say. All right. So there's that. Give me a second. I'm going to post a picture so that you can get a really good look at, the different piles, and pause it and intuitively choose which one or which pile or piles feels more aligned with you right now. And we'll see how the message develops from there. Thank you. Pause. Boop, boop, boop. Hello guys. This is your pick. And this is the full spread as it looks as I pulled it. Pile 1. Pile 2. Golden gift. And pile 3. Gossamer Princess. Take a moment. See what intuitively feels correct. And then go down, check out the timestamps. Hello, pile 1. Welcome. You guys looked at the options and you felt drawn to, or pulled in towards, or aligned with pile 1. Shimmer. This is number 39. It is in reverse, and it's exactly related to glamour, confidence, allure, charisma. So your inner child, the first thing you're doing is, it feels like confidence is an issue here. And if you look, you can see she's almost contemplating, thinking, maybe looking back at what was, what could have been. So something in your childhood rocked your confidence. Your charisma is diminished because you don't have this flow. I'm seeing at the top, there's this arch of water. Anytime I'm describing, if you can't see, you could just pause it and look at this. Stars twinkling in the background, so there's a lot of magic in you. You just have to unlock it. How is the first direction towards unlocking it? Unchain the dragon. That's an interesting answer. How to unlock it to unchain. We offer the gift of unchaining your mind from the bondage of sorrow, doubt, and fear. We offer clarity, purpose, and motivation in their place. The voice of the soul now speaks within you. So they offer the gift of unchaining your mind from sorrow, doubt, and fear by replacing it with clarity, purpose, and motivation. So I think a big point to start from today and moving forward, especially the next 3 days, is to start thinking about your purpose. What do you want to do? What excites you? What lights you up? What do you feel like doing? What When you think about something, you feel motivated, not because you have to, but because you're excited and you really want to. You can't wait to. That's what you need to be kind of envisioning yourself doing. What are you doing now, and how does it make you feel? If you're lit up, you're on the right spot. You're doing the right thing. If not, you need to work on unchaining. And I think the first step in unchaining is finding out, asking yourself, and deciding what to do. And if you set the intention to reach out and connect with your higher self and your inner child in meditation or just quiet time, turn on some music and listen, these answers will come to you. All right, first card, Nine of Vessels, generosity. Nine of Vessels. It's a very, very good one. That's the Nine of Water. And here you can see he's got so much energy pouring out of him. His aura is so strong that it's actually overflowing beyond him, out of his hands, out of his head, just pouring, emanating from him. Almost like he's a sun, and it's filling every cup around him. But the key is you have to yourself be full and overflowing. You have to be emanating a little, almost emotional sun or an energetic sun. You have to fill your own cup before you can fill someone else's. This is the center. It's going to be on the right. To the left of that, no, down below. Eight of Vessels. Eight of Vessels. So here you go again, overflowing so much that you're filling everything else up. The key to this is peace. If you look at his face, he is absolutely at peace. And here, the cup is just hanging. There are cups above it that are overflowing. 3 cups to be precise. It's your higher self, it's your inner child, and your current self working together to fill up the entire full version of you. And from there, it will flow down, fill up the cups beneath you, and it seems like supply water for the entire river, which provides life for everything around you. Next card. Bruh, come on. More flowing, more water, a lot of emotional overflowing. Through your generosity, you will receive your rebirth, and that's what this whole period is about. The generosity is about giving to yourself, allowing yourself to feel, allowing yourself to be what you truly want to be, not what is expected of you, not what is asked of you, not what is told you should do, but to truly feel you. Ten of Vessels is the completion of this. Ten of Vessels, you are now the source, flowing down and filling everything up. And last, Two of Vessels. So this entire reading, you are all in your emotions. You are all about the water, the energy of flow, which makes sense because the inner child is related to the sacral chakra, which is, of course, related to the element of water. The interesting thing about this card, and what really sticks out to me, there's a little picture of it, is that there's a fiery heart burning between these two. And that fire is the true you. This is the masculine version, and this is the feminine version. And when you put yourself together, another way that I see this is as your younger self, your inner child, and your higher self, your future self. And when you put all three of those together, it pours the life of water, which fills up both of the cups, your cup and the cup of those around you. But the source of water, after you go through this, is you yourself. Nine, 10, and 8. 27 plus 2. 29, 39. What is it that makes you feel sorrow? In what ways do you doubt yourself, and what causes you to feel fear? These are the questions you need to be asking yourself starting today, and I would recommend journaling. Ask these questions. What frequently causes you to feel sorrow? Are you in a constant state of feeling sorrow? Some sort of heavy sadness? In what ways do you doubt yourself? Do you doubt your worth, your self-worth? And when you want to do something, you truly want to do it, but you feel fear. What causes you to feel fear when you think about doing something that you want? What is the most scary thing? And what exactly are you afraid of when you think about doing this thing? Write these things down, and then from there, think of how you can give yourself permission, give yourself the strength, give yourself the courage to begin to do these things. In small ways at first, but make it a constant effort to daily set the intention to do something which makes you uncomfortable, something which makes you feel afraid that people are going to laugh at you, that you're going to fail, that you're not good enough to do it. A lot of times the thing that you have to do is do something that you suck at until you're good at it. And sometimes the thing that you suck at the most is not caring. Another way to say that is sometimes the hardest thing to do is to do what you think people are going to laugh at you for, or you think that you're not good enough to do. How dare you try to do this? You're not good enough for that. Look for these kind of reactions, internal reactions, and then go for that thing. When you start to do this, it will be very uncomfortable. But very quickly, that will turn around, that will shift, and it will become something that, while you feel maybe embarrassed or awkward doing it first, as you do it, it fills you with some new sense of satisfaction, achievement, accomplishment, and that will boost you. That will be the beginning of this. Being generous to yourself, regardless of what others may say, do, or think. Or I should say what you think others will say, do, or think. Next card. The Hanged Man. Let me go ahead and close that. So, the Hanged Man. Sitting there. Upside down, he's got his legs in the 4. The upside down 4. So this is difficulties. You have everything you need. All around you, the world is blossoming. You have everything you need around you, but you can't see. You couldn't see. You couldn't see. This is where you were. You couldn't see what was needed, what was being asked of you, what you were asking of yourself. More specifically, what your inner child was struggling with. What situations happened with your mother, grandmother, or some other female in the past? That's exactly it. It's a feminine energy in your past that caused you to feel tied up, that caused you to feel like your whole world was turned upside down. I'm hearing something like manipulation, something like shaming, guilting, again, how dare you, or something like that. I don't know. So that's how you felt. That's how that energy made you feel. And how did that cause you to react? Very stern. It made you act very stern. This is the Lord. He's sitting on his throne. He's got his staff in his hand. He's got his hand on his own. It's a very masculine, strong energy. Very logical. So you found a logical way to handle this situation that you were subjected to from this energy. Very stern, very serious. You did what's needed to keep peace in the situation. And that caused this inhibition to flow as you need to. Next card, the wheel. Time was needed for you to process, to go through this. And everything that you've endured for the last 16 years, all the times you tried to do something and couldn't, or felt like you couldn't, every time you went to make a move, you were blocked. If you look, she has almost completed that circle. She is very close to completing that circle, just as you are very close to completing your phase. These last 3 months, starting from today, will be the point where that's over and the circle's complete. You're protected and you're able to move forward from this point. Advice on how to initiate this process. I'm going to pull some from these and see how that goes. Shouldn't be too loud, I don't think. Shuffle a little bit away. One more time. Oop, that was it. Look at that. These ones jump. These ones always jump. 2. So the first thing is Keeper of Secrets. So there's a secret. Use your discernment. Confide in a trusted friend. Keep silent about knowledge. As she's sitting here, number 37, she has the key in her hand. She's closed up like this, like she's been scared, like she's been almost trapped by thoughts, by feelings, by fears, by worries. And she feels alone. She's wrapping herself in this shawl as best as she can. But these 2 little butterfly friends, these 2 little butterfly guides, this is your inner child and your higher self coming to you right now to inform you that you have the key in your hand. Beside that key, if you look, is a spider web, which represents communication. All around her, there are these sparkles. The information that you're trying to connect to is all around you. And you are being shown or given the answer to this question. The key is in your hand. And in some way, synchronicities, some sign is going to appear that gives you an aha moment, that gives you a click, and you're going to understand what it is that you can do to start processing and moving through this. And it will be very clear when that comes. And then you'll be encouraged to go down that path, that secret path. So, Keeper of Secrets and the secret path. So you have the key to the secret. You can unlock the secret right now, and something is going to transpire in the next 2 or 3 days, maybe even today, in the next few hours, that will give you the awareness of that key. And 44, start moving down that path. An irresistible pull down a distinct path. Ley lines, mystic traditions. So it feels like the key itself is going to be, for some of you, it's going to be something to do with your own family traditions, with your own lineage. For others of you, it's going to be more specific to an action you're taking. Um, Over the next 2 or 3 days, you're going to have thoughts coming up about some situation, some person, which left you wounded in your childhood. And this is exactly what's been blocking you from moving forward in whatever your ambition is. And revisiting that and playing that through and seeing it differently as who you are now. You join your higher self, go visit that situation that your inner child, your younger self, experienced, and kind of be the big brother, big sister, guardian angel, whatever you want to call it, to that younger version of you. Interestingly enough, today I already did this. I went through this whole situation kind of like in a shamanic journey, or you know, visualization of visiting those situations in my life where I was wounded, for lack of a better word. And I saw it from a higher perspective. I saw the wounds that the other person had that caused him to act like that, and passed that curse on down to me. And I saw myself, and that was the first thing. I saw myself, and I came to myself in astral form, is how I imagined it. And I encouraged myself, this is what happened, this is how it went, this is why it happened. And I sent my younger version of myself in that visualization the calm and understanding energy, and kind of took away, absorbed that pain from him, that heavy impact. I absorbed that into myself and pushed it out into the earth, and I replaced it with a lighter energy to kind of strengthen and build up some resolve, some resilience to that situation. So that would be something you could try, or something like that. Yes. Okay, one more card, but not that one. Not that one. This. I think I'm gonna pull. Oh, not one, two. It looks like vessels again. Huh. Knight of Vessel and Knight of Bows. So it's young energy, a young masculine energy is required to take this next step. Knight of Vessel is eel. Knight of Bows is fire. Fire and water. Emotion and passion. The fox is cunning, the fox is clever. And fire is about action, strength, protection. The first one that come out is the Knight of Vessels, the eel. It's very much swimming through, very much at home in the emotional aspects. So you have to connect to the emotions that you felt then, and cleanse that and wash that with the higher emotions that you have now, and that you will have even further as you advance. And then with that, you have to take action on your passion. Whatever it is that you don't feel comfortable doing right now, it's very important that you go ahead and start doing that. And from there, the generosity that you provide for yourself will begin to flow to others. The glamour that you had lost, the confidence, that will shift into allure, charisma, attraction. And you'll begin to attract what you've always wanted, what's meant for you. You'll unlock this secret, begin the journey down that secret path. Happiness will flow to you and all those around you. And the sternness of the Lord that protected you will become strength to stand in your power. I think that's it for you for today. Thank you for the reading. I hope it Resonated? Makes sense? Now, before you go, I've got two things to tell you. First of all, if you felt drawn to another pile, you should definitely go check it out. It's probably for you. And secondly, this. I've written a book. It's called Travelers the Awakening, and it's available on Amazon. If you're into fantasy or RPG lit, or you like reading about VR gaming slash magic, it's an exciting, fun read. Um, and if you're not into reading, maybe you know someone who is. And I'll see you on the next one. Pile 2. Welcome. You guys felt drawn to the Golden Gift. Which, the Golden Gift. It is a beautiful card. It always makes me think of assistance from the other side of the veil. I work a lot with the Fae, and they're very beautiful, very healing energy to work with. Magical help is on its way. If you look, this is the Deer Queen. She's being contacted and communicated with by this golden fairy. And she's about deep healing, deep emotional healing. And it seems there's this water moon behind her. If you look closely, it looks like a full moon. So an emotional outpouring coming through. On her arm, she has a bell, which is indicative of communication again. Connection to nature. The antlers make me feel like it's a connection to nature is required. And being open, honest with yourself. The open chest, the bare chest, that indicates that you have to kind of wear your heart on your sleeve in communication with yourself. It's not saying to expose your heart to everyone. That would be unwise. But at this point, for the next 2 to 3 days, open up and dig deep. Number 24. That is, I'm seeing 2, I'm seeing 4. Those two together is 8. So it's going to be a process that plays out and it expounds, it expands. If you start now, you'll kind of begin to crack whatever shell you're in. And if you continue working, just like water slowly opens the crevices in rocks, the same process, but with the Deer Queen assisting you, that will happen at a miraculously quick pace. I'm looking at now to the next 3 months, there's going to be a major shift, a major transition for you in your life. Dragon Moon. Wow. I've actually never pulled this card. I've had this deck for quite a while and I've never pulled this card. So this will be my first time reading it. And in my head, before I turned it over to look at it, I was asking, in which way will this occur? Dragon Moon. Before reading it again, I think this is connected to emotions. I think this is connected to illumination, shining some kind of light on this situation. There are many forms of light upon planet Gaia, and all transmit healing rays. It's a healing light. Okay. We ask you now to bathe in the light of the moon, and beneath its silver radiance, drink in its magic. First step is to go do some sun bathing. Moon bathing, moon gazing. This is happening pretty much on a new moon, which is a dark moon, which is you can't see it. But the message that's coming through is so funny, the way they're saying it almost sarcastically. Just because you can't see air doesn't mean it's not there. It doesn't have the effect. And even though you can't see the moon, it still affects the waves, the tides, every aspect of your body, every blade of grass. So it does still have the essence And this is a subconscious. It's subconscious because it's in the dark, which is a beautiful place and a healing place. It's the place where things begin. A seed germinates in the dark before it sprouts. Without that darkness, it can't germinate and it rots. So the message here is, again, there are many forms of light upon planet Gaia. The Mother is watching for you, but they all transmit healing rays. They're asking you to bathe in the light of the moon. The silver radiance, that silver radiance still emanates from it, even if you can't see it. It's still hitting you. It's still pulling you to it, pulling up that wound that you suffered as a child, because this is a inner child wounding reading. Okay, first card I'm going to pull is this. Something in reverse. What? 10 of Arrows. Instruction. So, this is almost like your higher self teaching your younger self, your inner child, how to go for something, how to be confident, how to believe in itself, how to move forward from what has occurred. If you look closely at this instructor is very emotionally invested in how his student progresses, the proper form, the proper technique, strengthening, conditioning, training. 10 of Arrows. In that same respect, you have to be that teacher. The older man could be you going back and visiting your younger self and instructing on how that went, that situation. What was the aim of it? What was the purpose? Why did he allow that to happen? Why did he work with that other being, that other person, that other energy that left you wounded, or that situation which left you wounded? And what does this wound specifically revolve around? I think in some way you're supposed to be a mentor to others. And activation of that skill set will come once you walk through this period, this 3-month period, this 3-day period. Next two cards, the Blasted Oak and the Six of Arrows, transition. The Blasted Oak is pretty much like the Hangman and the Tower combined. This is in reverse. So there was something that turned your world upside down, that left you hurt, confused, lost. But in reverse, it's almost like you're flying. Like a part of you flew away from yourself, left yourself. And now, this is usually leaving. This card, Six of Arrows, transition. It's usually about going away from something. But this looks like you're returning back to yourself to give yourself the instruction needed to move forward. Interesting. Everything is representing itself differently than normal. So you're a pretty unique individual. You do things in what many people would call a strange way. And I think you may face a lot of awkward emotions, awkward moments because of this. The Spirit is encouraging you to find some way to rewrite that narrative so that when you do something awkward and unusual, it doesn't make you feel, like you're standing out in a bad way, but instead that you're shining, and to become comfortable with that. All right. The moon. Next card is the moon. Wow, this is all about the moon, the moon, the moon. There's also a moon and this card, transition. That's funny. Different phases though. So here you have a wolf and a dog howling up at the moon. And in the background is a threshold. It's a gate, it's a portal. That's what you're coming up on. These two wolves, or this wolf and this dog, they represent some kind of fear that you have. You need to walk past them fearlessly. And then step through that portal, that entryway, and let the light of the moon shine down on you. How can you do that? How can you face that? What's the guidance for that? Six of Wands and Four of Wands, specifically taking action. Six of Wands in reverse. You have this warrior, this knight on horseback. He's leading others, and they already have the heads of their enemies on their spears. This warrior, this knight, is an elder. So this is saying connect with the higher version of yourself and allow it to lead the different aspects of you that were wounded, that it's guiding. There are different aspects of yourself that were, I guess, separated and broke off from your current self, the different situations in your life. 5 specific situations in your life that left you wounded, little deaths that occurred. You need to go back to these points, connect with them, and reconcile them. How can you reconcile them? 4 of Swords. This is air. Time alone, contemplate, meditate. Play these situations over and over again. What did you learn from them? Rationalize it. What did you learn from them? How did they change your life? If they hadn't happened, how might you have evolved and developed? How would you be different? Don't judge yourself or others for what happened and what has happened since then as a result of that. Understand that it's all part of a plan that you yourself laid out as an intelligent soul. What lessons have been initiated and instigated through your life because of these situations. Take a pause, put your sword down, rest, meditate. Spend time alone and try to connect with some force of nature. Whatever force of nature you're most closely or most strongly pulled to, drawn to, attracted to. As you spend time doing that and replaying these situations, going and making amends and reconciling those situations that occurred, these wild dogs will shift from being something scary, blocking your path, into allies that you transmuted and turned into a strength. And that will help you perform your mission as you move forward. Next card is Melusina. Love who you are. That is number 1. Love who you are. It's the most important thing. Self-love, self-worth. The story of Melusine, she was a dragon who shifted into a female, a beautiful female. And she, long story short, I'm not going to go through the whole mythology, but basically, she created a space where she was supposed to be left alone. And there was a breach of that situation that required respect was broken. That trust was broken. And someone saw something other than what was projected. And that created a whole big stink. She had to change everything that she was living, every way she was living, and step into who she truly is. And she lived a good, strong life after that. So somehow your trust was broken. And you've hidden from yourself since then, in some regard. Going back and making amends with that situation and finding a way to love and honor that side of you that many people think is ugly, weird, stupid, whatever. Represent that self. Stand up for that self. Come back and honor that part of yourself. Next, New Moon Fae. New Moon Fae. Soul scrying. Under the light of the new moon, this dragon fae reads your soul. You're going to be visited by specifically some form of this new moon fae. It feels like in a dream or a daydream. Even if you don't remember it, you'll feel the effects of it. I want to say a headache, that dull kind of buzzing in your head, behind your eyes, between your ears, something like that. And a dry mouth, you may experience that. That'll be like signs that it's happened and you don't remember it. But I'm seeing pink, I'm seeing purple, I'm seeing blue. And these special wings on the temples. So this is going to be some kind of connection, and truths will be relayed to you on a subconscious level. It will just be a shift, a click. When you set the intention to go and make peace with these situations, that shift will automatically happen for you. And what will be the result of this? A brilliant solution is on its way. Queen Unak, I don't know how to say that, but the last dragon fae, throat activation and third eye activation. So you'll be able to speak your truth. You'll be able to understand intuitively what it is, and you'll be able to speak about it. And transformation. There's a butterfly down there. It looks like in the higher heart. So there's a higher heart connection, and it will literally physically shift the way you feel, the way you speak, the way you carry yourself, and the way you react in those situations that used to make you feel awkward and uncomfortable. That will no longer feel that way. The required action, though, is that you stop replaying. Go back, visit, make amends, meditate, take the time to meditate. Go represent yourself. Accept the help of the dear queen. Love yourself. Practice loving every aspect of yourself. There is no good, there is no bad, there is you. Everything about you is exactly the way you designed it, the way you meant it to be. This is all part of your journey. Whatever happened, you can heal from it. But going and replaying that situation with a different perspective is the key. Closing message. I think I want to pull a closing message from this deck. It's my Mer deck. Oh, there we go. I don't know, there's one or two. Potential energy wanted to come out. Number 8, an abundance, an infinite abundance. Again, there's a shine on the third eye, a moon, crescent moon. It's the bowl moon. And you have something in your hands, you're sending it love. There's something already in you that wants to come out. Oh my God. Lemuria returns. Another sign of fertility. Earthy spirituality, community, ocean conservation. So you're very connected to the earth. And again, you have something coming through. Something that's been boiling in you for a long time. Something that's been buried, germinating for a long time. In a sea of emotions, it seems. But it's time to crack open that shell and allow that to flourish, to flow from you. Coral's wisdom. This is another one which is exactly about the community that it takes, the time that it takes. There was a period where it was super fragile and it had to be protected. It was super fragile and it had to be protected. But that period is up. Now it's time to unleash that. It's been built up over a long time. So now when it comes and you release it and you let it flow, it will rapidly expand. The period where it was needing protection is over. Now it's time. The Deer Queen has visited you. Her fairies are around you, communicating with you, energetically speaking. The healing is on its way. The work you need to do is take the time to find these situations, find out where they come from, and make amends with those situations. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the message. Thank you for joining me. Now, before you go, I've got two things to tell you. First of all, if you felt drawn to another pile, you should definitely go check it out. It's probably for you. And secondly, I've written a book. It's called Travelers the Awakening, and it's available on Amazon. If you're into fantasy or RPG lit, or you like reading about VR gaming / magic, it's an exciting, fun read. And if you're not into reading, maybe you know someone who is. And I'll see you on the next one. Pile 3. Hello and welcome. You guys felt drawn to the third pile card, which is Gossamer Princess. This is the only card that I pulled that was not already in reverse, so this already kind of sets you apart, distinguishes you from the other two piles. Not to say you're not connected to them as well in some way. If you felt drawn to read one of those readings, that's fine too. And if you've come here from one of those readings, that would be interesting. The card is Gossamer Princess. It's number 12, and the first thing I see is a lot of pink, purple, and a golden yellow. The golden yellow, for me, it feels like your inner child in the center of everything. The connection to that is the third eye and the crown chakra. Looking at this card, I can see that this girl is sitting on this tiny, thin spider web. Spider web is indicative of communication. It's indicative of messages coming through and of connection. So we can't see what's on either side of this, but we know that it's connected to something. What is that something? The other thing that comes through is threes. 12, 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 fours is 12. And there's a little tiny, I know you probably can't see it, but right about here, there's a little tiny piece of a constellation. It's like a triangle. 3 stars creating a little triangle. 3 butterflies. And it's almost like there's a signature out of that web right there. It's almost like a little signature. So, communication, relationship work to be done. Relationship with yourself, relationship with someone else. Who is this relationship work to be done with? And how can it begin? How can you start this? How can you jump it off? Dragon King. There is a new masculinity arising, one which we dragons have infused with the true codes of chivalry. This energy arises, healing, inspiring. Make space for this new beginning in your world. Make space. Start getting rid of old thought patterns, old ideas, old concepts. Start getting rid of stuff that you no longer use. Take a physical action which is basic and very mundane, and allow that to be the initiation point for things that need to happen metaphysically. Sometimes it's hard to conceptualize what you need to do in the astral. But an easy way to start that, it's like a way to break, writer's block. It's just start writing random stuff. The first thing that comes to mind, jot it. Next thing that comes to mind, jot it. Before you know, something clicks and activates, and there you go. So your first advice from Spirit is to start decluttering and get rid of stuff that no longer serves you, that you don't use. Old clothes, toss them. That thing you've been keeping just in case you might need it, you won't need it. And if you do, you can get another one. Get rid of stuff. Old energy is not, it's taking up space that you could be putting something better in. Start doing it in the mundane ways, and an intuitive aha will come to you in which you can start doing it in more um, psychological, mental, emotional, and spiritual ways. Mm-hmm. The mirror in reverse. Let's not have it in reverse. Know thyself, self-examination, seeing who you really are. Right now, it's in reverse. You're not really seeing who you are. You're looking at the projection. You're looking at what your fear tells you should be. You're trying to see that, although you know it's not truth. The other thing that's interesting is this is not actually like this. It's actually like this. She's in the water at the bottom, well, at the top of the ocean, just beneath it, and she's looking at her reflection in the surface of the ocean. In the same way, you need to change your perspective and start seeing things for what it really is. Start seeing the beauty of who you really are, the ways that you really are, the ways that you really feel, and start communicating those truths. That's the other thing. You have to start speaking. But the first step is to know thyself. Take some time reflecting. How do you feel when you do this? How do you feel when you do that? Be honest with yourself, and then start writing this down, journaling. I like this, I don't like that. When I do this, it makes me feel terrible, or it makes me feel great. That's the first step. Sisterhood, the very next card. Friendship, allies, compatible souls, loyalty, joy, and delight. 21 to 41. 21 to 41. There is a light shining on you. Everything gets brighter, everything gets better, everything gets more beautiful. And you will start attracting the people that you're meant to, your soul tribe. They can find you if you know who you truly are and start communicating that with yourself and with others. You can find those answers once you take the time to reflect honestly and face the truths of yourself and start voicing that. You will experience an influx of joy, of delight, and loyal people will find you, people who love you for who you are. This may also mean that you will have to let go of people who you have that make you feel comfortable, safe, whatever, because they are around you for who you project yourself to be, not who you truly are. This reading is probably going to get interrupted because I have other things going. So I may shift locations and continue this, but we'll see how long this lasts. One second. Alright, that was a little break needed. For now, we're going to stay here. We'll see how it develops from this point on. So, as I said, getting to know yourself is the first step. Allowing this new masculine energy to flow, this divine masculine energy to flow. And something to do with this energetic cord that you're on, this communication line. We'll see more about that as it develops. Time out. Time out. Awareness, contemplation, solitude, time alone. So you're being guided to take some time alone, away from whatever circle you have now. Get away. You could be driving in the car, listening to music. It could be Finding a quiet spot in the park nearby, um, a walk through the woods or through the mountains, whatever's in your area. If you're near the shore, a walk down the beach. Even go watch a movie by yourself, eat dinner by yourself. Take some time, do something with you, just yourself, and contemplate what you really like, what you don't, what you like about your life, what you would change, why. And this situation where something in the past wasn't active, wasn't passive. Wasn't active, wasn't moving. There's some kind of passion that you're ignoring. And the reason this is the case has to do with some wound you received as a child. One second, I need some water. So much better. Boating. Boating. Time with water reflecting would be good. If you are lucky enough and you have a boat, go out on the boat, go fishing, go do something, again, a little bit in nature all along if you can. Contemplation is everything. And being aware of what you're thinking. Be mindful of your thoughts as you're there. Let your mind wander, but notice where it wanders. Over the next 3 days, try to find time every day to spend at least an hour by yourself, just letting your mind wander. And bring a pen and a paper, a notepad, or use your phone, voice recorder, whatever, and record your thoughts. Record where your mind takes you. Think back to the good times in your childhood, if you can remember those, the bad times. What are the core memories? How many of them were positive? How many of them were negative? As you do this, 42, a wave of power will come over you. Day by day, this feeling will get stronger, this connection to that situation, those situations, whatever it is. The communication will be open. Your higher self and your inner child will approach you and connect with you. And it will be visceral in how it happens. Is there a sign that you can look for to kind of know it's happening? Endurance. Keep going. You may not feel like there's any sign. You may not feel like it's working. Even if you don't feel this wave of power, this surge of energy, this exhilarating movement. Keep going. Movement, movement. If you feel like dancing, if you feel like doing something you don't usually do, that's what it is. You're going to feel like moving in a way that you love, but feel awkward about. Mm-hmm. Something will come to mind that you do not when you're alone, that you do in a crowd, in a group. Three of arrows, jealousy. You've been stabbed, you've been burned, you've been bled. And there are scars from these situations that occurred in your childhood. What is this related to? Queen of Stones. It's the bear. It's what should have protected you. This bear is looking out. It looks like it's in some, like it's feeling regret, remorse. It feels like a mother energy. So something your mom did, not intentionally, obviously. Most mothers would not intentionally do something to hurt, but a lot of yeah, a lot of us have been wounded by our mom because she was wounded by someone in her past. So all this carries over and carries over. How can you address this? All right, welcome back. That was not really an unexpected, but an inconvenient timing for um, interruption. But what happens in a reading is part of the reading. So, two things I take from this. First of all, something unexpectedly can and probably will come through when you're in the middle of this process, when you're trying to work through it. Don't get upset. Don't get aggravated. Um, Roll with it. Flow with it. A storm came in right after the guys came in, and instead of moving, because it's a big setup and a big breakdown, I took a pause. I did what I needed to with them, taking care of the fam, and now everything's calmed back down, and I'm jumping right back in where I left off. The last reading, something happened, and I literally had to start over. So it seems like there's always a pile for me that has a sort of break, interruption, um, and you're a part of that collective this time. Maybe last time you were too. That would be funny. And not so funny, I guess, for you. All right, so as we left off, you did receive wounding, scarring, injury, trauma. It was a maternal energy, a feminine energy of sorts. Um, Queen of Stones, that's physical, that's material world level. Um, Maybe that's, yeah, something that you hold and you feel in your body. Um, Even now, it could be anxiety, pressure, tightness in the chest, something like that. When you're triggered by this trauma. Even now, there's still massive thunder and lightning out there. The torrential downpour is over. While that was happening, I was still in the energy of this reading, and it felt like there's going to be a very strong release. There's going to be a point while you're working through this that some thread snaps, and the energy of that, the dam holding back those emotions, is going to snap, and you probably will physically release a downpour of tears. You're going to cry. It's going to be an ugly cry. Me personally, I'm going to try and be by myself when that happens. If that were to happen, it's probably going to happen. Nonetheless, back to what I was saying. Next card is Nine of Stones. Nine of Stones. I think this came up in my last reading, which I'm going to post later. This is going to be first. So, it's another card where this older man is meditating. He's focusing. The emotional illumination, his internal subconscious emotional illumination, is shining down. He's got the antlers indicating age. He's got the white hair, the long mustache. In one hand, he has the snake. In his left hand, feminine, healing. In the right hand, he has a piece of jewelry. It's gold or copper or brass. They usually hold it around their neck to indicate, in Celtic tradition, they wear it around their neck to indicate their status. The nicer metal, the nicer design, the higher the status in that community. That feels like he's holding something from the past, holding on to the pain from whatever that ancestor, that parent passed on to you. This is all about life lessons. This is all about ending this 16-year cycle. Holding that Acknowledging that it exists in a peaceful state is the key here. If you're in the middle of this and you get interrupted, put it down, allow things to settle, allow the chaos to disperse, dissipate, find peace, find quiet, find solitude. Once again, open your awareness and reconnect with this energy. Behind him are standing stones. That is your line of ancestors. That is the connection to the earth, as well as the connection to above. Prince of Wands, taking action, impulsive, but not, it's a great start. It's a great starting energy. It doesn't have a lot of follow through. Pure intentions, sometimes a little naive. It's an immature but very passionate energy. Wanting to do the best even if you don't know sometimes. That may be where you've started and where you've been working through. You're progressing past this charging energy without thought. Reckless abandon comes to mind. You're moving into injustice. This is facing, in reverse, this is facing the injustice that happened to you. Life hasn't been fair. This indicates wisdom. This indicates intellect. This indicates honoring your vows, a vow to yourself. This is your higher self, your inner child, and your current self working together. This is a critical point in your life. I'm hearing the fate of the world hangs in the balance. The fate of your world, perhaps. How things progress, how your world develops after this. And I'm noticing that you have two friends with you. One is the owl. The other is a spider in a little spider web. The owl is on the right. The spider web is on the left. That's more subconscious in the dark. The owl is out in the open right beside you. At rest, at peace. The wisdom from the 16 years of learning, of difficult learning, heavy learning. But now you've made it. Now you're armed with the intellect, with the wisdom, and open communication between your subconscious inner child, connection from above, your higher self, higher version of yourself, your future self perhaps, and you're grounded. Your feet are firmly planted on the ground. You're sitting on your throne. This is you where you're headed. This is where you're at and where you're headed. I would say in the 3 months after this is about where you'll be. What does this have to do with? And what are you going to do with this position? Queen of Cups. Emotional maturity, emotional wisdom, emotional clarity, and contentment. It's almost like she's drinking from the moon itself. Absolute peace, contentment, and the Chariot. What are you going to do? You're going to move forward quickly, swiftly, balanced, light and dark, light and shadow, the different aspects of you. The conscious, the subconscious, and here, that same, I forget what you call it, the same band is around her neck. You're going to connect with that energy that wounded you and find a way. It will happen naturally almost. When you start reflecting, when you start going through it, you look at yourself, you're honest with yourself. You start presenting yourself sincerely and authentically. Your tribe will find you. The endurance and the surge of power will flow into you. You maintain that web of communication. And visualize, if you will, that on one end is your inner child. On the other end is your higher self, and this is you in the middle. The inner child has some trauma from something you experienced at some point. Imagine using an athame or something like that, something like this, to energetically sever only the pain, only the darkness, and allow the wisdom, the knowledge to remain intact. And allow that to flow through you into this broadening, widening web. It will create a new home, a new place for you to exist comfortably, connected to different aspects of yourself and to the community around you, your tribe, the collective, so that you can share your wisdom and your knowledge with them and help them to heal. And by doing so, you will improve the way you feel, the amount you heal. You'll move forward, charging forward in your chariot, holding the intellect and the wisdom you've gained in one hand, and the reins of your emotions and the way you live your life in the other. Closing message. I think I'll use one of these and one of those. One of these I like, and one of these. This one. No, I'm gonna shuffle that. I was gonna pull, but I'm gonna shuffle. Sorry if it's loud. It won't be long. Just until one pops out. That one. See what it was. What is it? Knight of Stones. Strength. Hard work. Horse. Physical work. Move. Take some time to do something physical. Something you enjoy. Maybe find a new hobby, a new activity. Angus. Youthful champion, son of light. Another youthful masculine energy. You have two knights, and you have Angus, which is another youthful champion. Another sword and swan. Swan is innocence. Swan is commitment for life, to yourself, I'm feeling or hearing. And the sword is the intellect. It's your logic. It's masculine, assertive choices, choosing, activity. I think that's it. Use your masculine energy. This again, back to the Dragon King. There is a new masculinity arising, one which we dragons have infused with true codes of chivalry. This is divine masculine energy. This energy arises healing and inspiring. Make space for it. Get rid of old thought patterns. Allow them to come up first. Realize them, recognize them, identify them, and then be honest when you see them. Pay attention. Know thyself. This is key. Allow that energy to flow up so that it can heal and inspire. True forgiveness is not for others, it's for yourself. But the side effect of that often is that forgiveness, that energy of forgiveness, it spreads. And that's what we need more of in this world. I think that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it made sense. And if you liked it, hit the like button, share. Any questions, comments, you know where to put them. Now, before you go, I've got two things to tell you. First of all, if you felt drawn to another pile, you should definitely go check it out. It's probably for you. And secondly, this. I've written a book. It's called Travelers the Awakening. And it's available on Amazon if you're into fantasy or RPG lit, or you like reading about VR gaming / magic. It's an exciting, fun read. And if you're not into reading, maybe you know someone who is. That's it for now. I'll see you on the next one. Love you guys. Peace.